Hello lovely people, welcome to the Nods of Gracious YouTube channel. So today I want to talk about something that really truly excites me, something I'm super passionate about, and that is my career in events. So I'm an event manager by profession and I've been doing it for 7 years now. So I'll just walk you through what my journey in events has been like, if it's something you're interested in getting into. Okay, so I will start when I applied for uni. So I grew up in New Zealand, and when I applied, so this whole story before me even getting into uni, of dropping out of high school, blah, 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 that's a story for another day. But when I finally got into uni, I got into study journalism because I love to write and I love reading. So I was like, I want to be a writer. When I get into journalism, travel to all these dangerous parts of the world. So when I got to uni, I'm doing journalism, and then I think in my year in, you had to choose what you wanted to major in. As time went on, I started planning little events for family and friends, little events for my church group, little events for myself, and I was just naturally good at it. I was just super organized. I just knew how to make somebody's vision come to life. I just knew how to make somebody's vision a reality. And then so I think one of my church pastors, or was it a really close friend, I can't quite remember, they said, why don't you do events? And then I was like, yeah, sure, I could, but it's nothing I ever wanted to do at uni. Anyway, as I was about to choose my major in journalism, right, I realized I could actually major into event planning as well. Long story short, I woke up one day and then I did it, and I started majoring in events. So I did a year and a half at my uni in New Zealand, and then I realized that I could do a study abroad program to any other country that was a partner of the uni I was going to. And then so I decided to do a year and a half in England, in the UK. Before I did that, while I was at uni, I interned at my uni. So you had to do an internship for I think 6 weeks or something. So I did all the events that were uni related. That was my internship. But as I was doing that, I also got a part-time job as a functions host just to make some extra cash, but it wasn't anything too serious. After that, I then decided to do a study abroad program. So I moved to England and I was living in Leicester for a year and a half. By far the best thing my young self has ever done. It was a great experience. I loved the UK. I loved where I lived. I loved going to uni there. I've made some lifelong friends just by doing that. So anyway, I did that, and then I worked for a couple of companies as a volunteer doing weddings. And then I just realized, okay, I really truly love this. So I kind of decided that I wanted to start doing my own events. So I started planning events for friends. They were events for friends, but they were serious things. These are things that my friends at the time were doing to actually change lives, to actually change the world. So these are good events, and I truly believe I did a good job with them. That's when I decided, okay, this is something I truly want to do, and I truly want to get into it. So I think in about 2015, I decided that I wanted to start my own business, which I did, called Gracious Events. And then so I started very small. It's still quite small now, but it brings in, that passive income that just kind of stays there, that extra income. It still really does that for me. So that's something I'm proud of. Anyway, I came back home to New Zealand to finish off my last year of uni before I graduated. Yay. So I finished that and then I graduated. At the job I was at before I went to England as a functions host, I came back and then I got promoted and I became the event center manager. And this was at a community for deaf people. So I learned a little bit of New Zealand Sign Language, which was awesome. I did that for 2.5 years. It was amazing. I would be in charge of making the bookings, making sure people have good weddings, rostering on the staff, just making sure that the events we had were a big success. So that was a great job. That was a really good stepping stone for me. Although it didn't pay very well, but just being the manager at that age, early 20s, was really, really good for me. Anyway, after I left that job, I got another job as a venue coordinator. This was a fun job, but it was just a contract for a year. I was in charge of making sure the bookings happened. I was in charge of catering. I was in charge of making sure that everything that is booked in actually happens. And I was also in charge of helping people plan their events. So I was in charge of the rooftop terrace, the gorgeous rooftop terrace in Auckland. So we had weddings, we had birthday parties, you name it, we had it. So this is not only just a job, but it's fun. And I'm naturally good with people, so I was able to make people feel confident to book the venue with us if they knew that I would be looking after their event. And it was a good 9 to 5 on Fridays. I had the weekends off unless I had to be on call, so that was good. Did that for a year, and that's when I decided it's time to move on. I want to move to Australia. I applied for a job while I was still back home in New Zealand, and then I got a job as an event manager for a company that worked inside the Costco supermarket, if you've been there. So I was kind of like just in charge of a whole bunch of little events within the store, and that was really good. That was so much fun. I did that for 2.5 years. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved my team. I loved the people that I was working with. I had a really good team of people that I was working with, and it really helped me develop my leadership skills. And then I got another job directly after that, and I was event coordinator, and I was doing graduations. It was just a lovely job as well, you know, being a reason why people smile on their graduation day, being the reason why people are looking good on their graduation, being the reason why people can come in and take photographs working for a company like that. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that job, but now that I'm having bubs, I had to stop doing that. And now I work as an event coordinator for my family company, which is really awesome. I've always been skeptical about working for the family business, and this is something I'll talk about. But it has been really good. I get to work from home. I get to work in the comfort of my own home. I get to bring my knowledge to the family business, and I get to plan events for disabled people. I get to plan events for them to go out there and enjoy the world and see the world. I get to plan events for the office, Christmas parties, all of that, and I can do it all from the comfort of my own home. So that is a little breakdown of my career in events, but it's something that I absolutely love, something that I went to uni for 4 years to get the degree and to get the education. But you can actually get into events without doing all of that if it's something you love, if it's something that you're passionate about. And I love my side hustle, my Gracious Events side hustle. I do that on the side. It brings in a little bit of extra cash here and there, and it's something that I hope one day will grow into something so beautiful. Legacy for my kids, a legacy that I can leave behind. So it's something that I truly and absolutely love. And one thing that has helped me to be confident enough to get into events confidently was my parents. Like where I come from, you're either doing nursing, or you're going to be a doctor, or you're going to be a lawyer, or you're going to be a pilot. Those are the careers, right? That is what brings in the money. But I just knew that I didn't want to be any of those things. And then so one day I told my dad, I was like, Dad, I want to be a hip hop dancer. I must have been like 16 years old. I want to be a hip hop dancer. And my dad is like, okay, great. Come up with a business plan. Let me know what it is that you need, and we'll get it going. As the years went on, I do not want to be a hip hop dancer because I cannot dance. But the fact that my dad was so supportive, the fact that he looked at me in the eye, letting me know that I can do this, letting me know that I can be a hip hop dancer and he's still going to support me, was everything. So when I decided to be an event manager, there was no hesitation. It was just support, 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 support. And I've planned so many good, fun events over the time, including events for myself, including events for family and friends, events for other businesses. I've been able to do that, and it has been fun. I do not regret paying those student loans. I do not regret getting into this career because it's something that fits really well with my character, and it's something that I just genuinely love. So I encourage you to pursue whatever your passion is, whether you know it or not. I encourage you to pursue that thing that brings you joy. Life and work does not have to be boring. You can have fun at work, and I've been able to do that for the last 7 years, and I intend on doing that. I do not ever want to do anything else. I do not ever want to venture into a different career. This is what I'm called and born to do, and this is what I'm good at. This is what brings me joy. So yeah, that's just a little bit about my career in events. Look, if you have any questions about how I got into it and how I'm doing, I'm more than open to help. I've already had multiple conversations with people who want to do the same thing, and it does not always have to be about the money, but honestly, you can actually make a really good, reasonable income, because I've been able to pay my bills with that, I've been able to live a reasonably, really good, blessed life because of the career path that I chose, and there are no regrets with that. So yeah, today there was no baby talk. It was just a little bit about what my career in events has been like. So as I said, I work from home, so I better get back to it. I've got a few meetings that I need to wrap up before I finish for the day. But that is my career in events, and I hope it inspires you. And I want to let you know that you can do anything that you set your mind to. You are capable of making good and well thought out decisions. All right, tune in for the next video, guys. Bye.